स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम् स्वधर्मज्ञानवैराग्य साध्यभक्त्येकगोचरः नारायणः परम् ब्रह्म गीताशास्त्रे समीरितः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि
Who is qualified to listen?
Who is qualified to listen?
A person in grief, in the sense, who aspires for something, is fit for listening. When he has an aptitude, and here Vedanta Deshika said he must be sad, and there was an expression abhihi in the Charma Shloka of Gitartha Sangraha, and the one quotation from the Gitartha Sangraha was samsara bhaya biruna. There are two shades of, so one is fearlessness and the other is fearfulness. Fearfulness in case of the life in this world, and then fearlessness in reaching the speed of God. Then Vedanta Deshika says, what is the purpose of this chapter, Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter? It is removing the ignorance. Removing the ignorance. So there are 3 divisions also: Aishwaryarthi, Kaivalyarthi, and Moksharthi. Then you have.
You're reading from Gitartha Sangraha?
Yeah, in Tamil. Yeah, in Tamil.
Or Rahasya Trayasara?
Yeah, not Rahasya Trayasara. Gitartha Sangraha from the Tamil work of Vedanta.
Okay.
So the point is, the Lord Sriman Narayana is compared to the individual soul is great. Is high, is very high. Again, the most important aspect is belief in Shastra, faith in scriptures. That's what this is regard to the 6th chapter. So let's have some other discussion if you want on this point, 6th chapter. I've been training myself in framing what we call objective questions with the multiple choice questions. But this is today I rushed through. Otherwise, I would have made some better questions. Any review of first 6 chapters? Welcome.
I would just note that this Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he translated Bhagavad Gita. He only translated the first 6 chapters. Because at the end of the first 6 chapters, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgyatenantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. So he says the greatest yogi, he talks about the greatest yogi is, so when he saw that this, Krishna says this is the greatest yogi, he said this is the end. He was only interested in who is the greatest yogi. And after that, he said the rest of it is not important. Because he was interested only in who is the greatest yogi.
But I think Sri Shaila Prabhupada has written for all the chapters.
All the chapters, yeah, exactly.
His translations are very nice. And they are exactly like the Sanskrit phrases, commentaries.
Actually, a lot of his translations are taken from Sarvapali Radhakrishnan's.
Oh,
but the commentary that he's given is of course different from Sarvapali Radhakrishnan.
Dr. Radhakrishnan would always use bombastic words and
yeah. He seems like he's an Advaitin, no?
Yeah. We are enamored by the description in English.
By the description in English?
Yeah.
People like his Radhakrishnan's English. He has good English. Even Muktananda had not Muktananda. I think who's that person? There are some other people who had good English, who had very good English translation. Chinmayananda has also got good English. I think he has an MA in English.
He was an English professor.
Yeah.
Right Honorable V.S. Srinivas Shastri was very good in English. Dr. C.P. Ramaswamy. Actually, Englishmen learned the grammar from Srinivas Shastri. So, would you like to continue or?
It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow for the.
Okay. So should we do Tanians at the end also?
Yeah. And any feedback from Dr. Pranatati Haran?
Shall we chant the verses that we have done up to so far?
Say sixth chapter, 10th verse, 10th shloka. It is about the sixth chapter. 10th shloka is on the sixth chapter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So shall we chant, since we also should chant the Gitartha Sangraha? So let's chant it.
Right.
Okay. Are we going to take turns per verse or?
Each one catch one. Yeah.
Each one chant one. Okay.
Right.
So who's going to you say the order?
Jnana karmatmike nitte yogalakshye susamskrute atmanubhuti siddharthe purvashakyena chodite.
So you say who next?
Yeah. Anyone.
Madhyame Bhagavat Tattva Yatatmya Vapti Siddhaye Jnana Karma Vinirvartyo Bhakti Yoga Prakirtitaha Pradhana Purusha. Whatever.
Yeah, wait. Govindachari can say.
Okay. Pradhana Purusha Vyakta Sarveshwara Vivechanam Karmadhir Bhakti Rityadhi Purvashesho Antimoditaha.
The second half, Karmadhir Bhakti Rityadhi.
Yes.
It is soft. Otherwise it becomes dangerous.
Karmadhir bhaktir ityadihi. Purvasheshontimoditaha.
Asthana sneha karunya dharma dharma diyakulam partam prapanam prapanamudishya shastra vartanam vartaranam avartam kritam avataranam
Madam can read. If it is bigger font for Malini, madam.
You want me to make it bigger? Okay.
No, that's okay. I can see it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. I can see it. That is okay. Yeah. Nitya Atma Sangaha Sangha Karmeha Agochara Sankhya Yoga Dihi Dvitiye Stitadhi Laksha Prokta Tanmoha Shantaye.
Madam.
असत्या लोक रक्षायै गुणेश्वारोप्य कर्तृतां सर्वेश्वरे वा न्यस्योक्ता तृतीये कर्मकार्यता
प्रसंगात स्वस्वाभाविक स्वभावोक्ति कर्मणो कर्मतास्य भेदा ज्ञानस्य माहात्म्यम चतुर्थाध्याय उच्यते.
कर्मयोगस्य सौकर्यं सैग्रियं काश्चन तद्विद्धाः ब्रह्मज्ञान प्रकारश्च पंचमाध्याय उच्यते.
गोविंदाचार्य.
योगाभ्यासा विधिर्योगी चतुर्धा योग साधनम योग सिद्धि स्वयोगस्य पारम्यम षष्ठ उच्यते.
Shall we go to the last one? Ekatyanta.
Me?
Yeah.
एकान्तात्यन्तदास्यैका रतिस्तत्पदमाप्नुयात् तत्प्रधानमिदं शास्त्रमिति गीतार्थसङ्ग्रहः. One is the sanchita karma, is all of the karma from time immemorial, and the prarabdha karma is the manifest karma that we have in a particular life, which is taking portions of that sanchita karma, and that prarabdha karma will include both punya karma and papa karma, and that's why we have a particular material body. So just like Keshavacharya Swami was saying just now, that even punya is an obstacle, well, you know, it's because we also are born with punya karmas that make us enjoy and cause obstacles in us surrendering to God, like wealth and beauty, etc., etc. So my understanding is prarabdha karma is just the manifest karma of the particular life that we're in right now.
Right.
And sanchit is the whole thing.
But the only thing is, I must tell you, I mean, according to my understanding, what you said is actually the reverse of what we must understand. Namely, sanchita karma will include punya karma, the good deeds, and prarabdha karma is always generally referred to as bad deeds from which we accrue sin. And we never say that the prarabdha karma includes the good deeds. Though wherever the good deeds are there, they are obstacles, impediments to the emancipation. That's okay. But sanchita karma is what we call collective action, where you have both bad deeds and good deeds. Whereas in prarabdha karma, majority is only bad deeds. Of course, very, very little amount of good.
And the reason why I'm saying that too is from looking at it from the point of view of of astrology. That's how we look at it.
But
Well,
the word that you said is manifest is okay. Manifest.
Yes, and
The
the body that we have is karma.
The word prarabdha in the dictionary means commenced, begun, undertaken.
Generally, it is said, prarabdha karma cannot be escaped. You cannot escape from prarabdha karma. And that prarabdha karma is soluble. It is solvable. Solved by prapatti.
Yes, but that's one other thing too, is that prapatti will destroy the sanchita karma, but unless you do artha prapatti, then you have to go through the prarabdha karma until you leave this body, until the body drops. Because if he takes the prarabdha karma, then the body will drop and you will die. You will go to moksha.
That is different. I mean, that is not the. Because prarabdha karma is over, that is, you are either enjoying or suffering the prarabdha karma. The life is over. No, the life will not be over.
So, okay, can you give a definition of sanchita karma then? Because I don't see it. I'm looking in the dictionary. I'm trying to find sanchita in the dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
So sancha means collecting.
Yeah, collected.
Yeah, collected. So sanchita means collected karma.
Yeah.
Prarabdha means
this is like cumulative account.
Cumulative.
Yeah.
I like to say it's like the karma cloud.
The good deed that we perform or the bad deed that we commit will beget another deed. Good deed also can beget another good deed, give birth to, and again the bad deed can give birth to another bad deed, and therefore these two run like a parallel, what is called the rails of the train, the parallel rails. So the parallel rails. And when you ask the definition of the sanchita karma, what we call collected over the birth, over the number of births.
So okay, there's no way of discussing before the first birth of the jivatman. There's no way to discuss this.
Yeah.
We can't talk about before the first birth.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we go on to number 4? Number 4 is the Lord is the inner soul of A, sentient objects or individual souls, B, insentient objects or thoughtless soul, things, both or neither.
Both.
So the answer, everybody knows the answer is both. Yeah. So that was easy. That was an easy one. But the question may be asked, right? Is the Lord the inner soul of the soul? There may be a difference between Tenacharya and Deshika Sampradaya on this. Whether there is. Okay, because some people say that the soul is Anu. We discussed this. The soul is Anu, and therefore it doesn't have parts, and it can't. The Lord is co-pervasive, or is he indweller? Is he the indweller of the Atman, of the Jivatman, or is he the co-dweller? Right? Like, because again, I'm going to say two birds in a tree. One bird is not inside the other bird. There's two birds in the tree. But I understand the point. I'm not disagreeing. Okay, so
in the analogy between two birds, can you say the Paramatma bird is within the Jivatma bird?
I don't think from the analogy you could say it, but
No,
again, we can't say that God can.
The analogy doesn't work here. I understand. It's not relevant to this question.
But
Okay.
but certainly the Lord can pervade everything, including the soul.
Sure. Okay. So, should we move on? Okay. Devotees are classified as the suffering soul, artaha, the individual soul who aspires for the highest spiritual wisdom, jigyasu, one who desires for wealth, artarti, right? And one who desires emancipation, or all of these five.
It's supposed to be
all these
four.
five.
It's supposed to be all these four. It's supposed to be all these four.
I think B, C, D.
Must be changed to 4, right?
Well, I think generally it's B, right?
Okay, so this is stated in the 7th chapter. Arto jigyasarartarti jnani cha bharatar shabaha. Chatur vida bhajanti mam. Chatur vida bhajanti mam. So bhajanti means they worship. So the answer is E, because all of them worship the Lord. Chatur vida bhajanti mam.
Right.
Okay.
So the D is jnani. D is jnani.
Okay.
B?
D. Number 4. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Number 4 is jnani.
It's the jnani. It's the jnani.
Yeah,
jnani. Right. Arto jigyasarartati jnani cha. So the jnani is the mokshati. Right. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so 6. What is the solution to the removal of illusion? What is the solution to the removal of illusion? To the problem of how to remove illusion. Removal of illusion is not a problem. Removal of illusion is a anyway, whatever. Okay. Total surrender, property, discipline of yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, discipline of wisdom, or bhakti yoga. And there's no E. There's no E here.
Because the thing is, one has to realize one's actual position to do prapatti. So therefore, that will be when illusion has been removed, isn't it? So I don't know, maybe D.
No, you cannot change the question as you like.
Not changing. I'm trying to apply some type of logic.
I'm changing.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
So
I would agree with Mrs. Varadarajan and probably go with D.
Now, Govindacharya, please repeat your statement.
Well, my statement was with respect to prapatti yoga. And before one can do surrender, one has to realize one's actual position as part and parcel of God and belonging to Him. So therefore, one's illusion has to be removed before one can do prapatti in one's state, to want to realize prapatti in one's state. So I was thinking D is bhakti yoga.
Keshavdas Swami and I will give you many instances where we don't know what karma, jnana, and bhakti yoga are.
And that's the other thing, because from the Tenachari point of view, when you do prapatti, everything will be added upon you after. Everything will come from prapatti.
Yeah.
So the Advaitin, as an Advaitin's answer will be C.
Okay.
Yes.
A karma yogi's answer will be B. Right? A bhakta will say D.
Yeah.
Right? And those who follow property will say A.
The problem is there is no ideal bhakti yogin.
No, there's no ideal bhakti yogin. Sure, are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought that King Janaka was the ideal karma yogin.
Yeah, that's what we say according to Bhagavad Gita. Karmanaivahi samsiddhim astita janakadaya. But in spite of it, the Gita Bhashya of Ramanuja says Janaka had wisdom. Then only he did karma.
generally he did karma yoga, but he also had there was
Jnana
also
yoga.
some aspect of property.
Jnana yoga also, yes, Prapatti.
Okay. So can we say that karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga don't actually succeed without some form of property also, some form
Right.
of surrender?
Good, that's right.
So that's why we have to just say, hey.
Prapati is the solution. As I've always told you, Swami, Prapati is the solution to all the problems.
Yeah. This is Govindacharya's question.
Govindachari Bhasha.
Yeah.
Govinda Basha, yes, Govinda Basha.
Govinda
Okay.
Basha.
So, who is the best of the four devotees? Best in what way? Okay.
I can't tell you. All deeply with.
Artaha,
In whatever aspect that
Jigyasu, Moksharti or Mumukshu, or Artarti. Refer to the
I'll say
meanings of the
Moksharti.
words in question 5. There's the meanings of the words in question 5. Okay.
Yes, so Moksharti.
Right, good. Right.
Yeah,
That's the right time.
Yeah, of course. Okay, once again, for extra credit, I'm going to say, again, Bhagavad Gita 7:16, Chaturvida bhajanti mam jnana sukriti arjuna, arto jigyasa artati, jnani cha bhartashabaha. Evaiti, then the Lord says after that, Evaiti, jnani tvatvaiva me matam. Jnani tvatvaiva me matam.
Jnani to atmaiva me matam.
Yeah, the jnani is the best. Okay. So in the next sloka, 6:7:17, the Lord answers this question. Okay, so next one. How is? Go ahead.
The questions are, as I said earlier, it's for more discussion of more points than the very question.
Okay. So I mean, the discussion here is that we have these 4 types, and the Lord clearly in the Bhagavad Gita 7:17, he answers the question. So so if we look here 7:17, let me look it up.
Right. I'm happy that you are able to quote.
Tesham jnani nityuktya eka bhakti vishishyate priyo hi jnani notyatam aham sa cha mama priya. He is the most dear to God. That the jnani. Aham sa cha mama priya.
Mama priya.
Yeah, so that's important. Okay, so moving on. How is
the credit for the 7 goes to you again.
Thanks. Of course, open book. I have Bhagavad Gita. I have a dictionary in front of me and all these things.
But I thought we gave the credit went because he's quoting the verse. Okay, that's.
And second point is, I totally object to your dependence on the dictionary.
So you're subtracting points from me because I'm using a dictionary.
No. You can have some help from the dictionary, but you cannot depend on the dictionary. Totally.
I am not totally surrendered to the dictionary.
No. But you are telling about the meanings of words from the dictionary.
See, the dictionary, being surrendered to the dictionary is what we call acharya abhimana. That is acharya property. That you are actually my dictionary. Because I only look in the dictionary, but afterwards I must understand the real meaning of the word by getting your agreement that the dictionary meaning is correct. Because in the dictionary there are so many meanings, but you are the one who tells me which is the correct meaning. So it is only by acharya abhimanam that I'm able to do these things.
You say, Keshavadas, you will be the best debater. You will get first.
Without a doubt.
Very, very nice.
Okay, so how is the Lord? Are we ready for the next one? Okay. How is the
The-
Lord a kind of cause? Okay, one moment. Yeah, a kind of cause of the world's creation. Is he a kind of cause or he is the cause? Okay. Material cause, collective cause, nimitta karana. Nimitta means efficient
Oh,
cause,
it's a kind of cause. Okay.
a purposeful cause, or all of these. Okay, so there are some philosophies like Madhva. He doesn't accept that the Lord. He accepts the Lord as the nimitta karana, but not the upadana karana. There's two karanas: upadana karana and nimitta karana.
Please add, because of in a hurry I left out the upadana karana. Material cause is upadana. Thank you. Not upadana, not DH. It's DAA.
Sorry. Again, I get corrected. See, I'm not dependent on the dictionary at all.
Yeah, but then you have to put also the diacritics in as upadan, right? Or upadana.
Your fault is you have done more study.
And it's karanam or karanam.
Okay.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I don't.
Right.
Karanam.
Right. No. This is what we call Lord is akaranam. Akaranat, he has got free. So that's why he knows also. You may also know nirvyaja karuna. Another word is avyaja nirhetuka kripa. These two terms go with what you call without any reason for on our part, that is because of our absence of reciprocation, he still extends his love. Therefore, there is no cause for his mercy.
Yeah, but the nirhetika kripa. Okay. Are you saying that the world is a mercy for us? The Lord's mercy?
Yeah, the creation was done only because
the creation is done is his mercy, is his way for us to come back to him.
Right.
So if it's a form of his mercy, it's given to him. It's given to us by nirhetika kripa.
Right.
Fantastic. Okay. So the answer is D. Yeah.
Yeah.
But explain to me this: the material cause. I understand upadana karana,
right.
and nimitta karana. But collective. This is just both of them put together.
No.
The
accessories. For example, the accessories to create a pot. The wheel, the bull, the stick, the mud.
Okay, so can we say that okay, the material cause is the pradhanam, is the prakriti, mula prakriti, right? Right. And the nimitta karana is the Lord creating the mahatattva, okay?
Yeah.
And these collective causes can also include Chaturmukha Brahma.
Right.
That Chaturmukha Brahma creates the species and all the different things. So this is
understanding.
These are.
But you also I remind you just now gave us the another term for nimitta karana in English.
Another word for nimitta karana is what?
In English.
In English. I said efficient, the efficient cause.
Yeah, right. Efficient. That's right. Efficient.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Okay, so we move on. Okay, the eighth
technical term, efficient, the technical term. I gave you another.
That's your word. Purposeful is also a good word. But I have read many translations of books about this subject, and most of the authors use this word, efficient.
Long back I had the memory.
Okay, so anyway, question number 9, the 8th chapter deals with these topics. worldly propensity,
Prosperity.
prosperity. Okay. The nature of the highest knowledge, seeking the holy feet, or all these.
All this, I think.
That's a trick
Madam
question.
has answered
Maybe a trick question. Yeah. Maybe a trick question. Do we? Okay, because I was going to say because it is Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, isn't it?
Now, can you read the 8th chapter, the essence of the 8th chapter?
According to Gitartha Sangraha. Yeah, I'll see if I can find that. The 8th chapter will be 13, verse 13, I believe. The 9th chapter, here we go. In the 9th chapter as well is expounded his own unique greatness, his undiminished divinity in his incarnations as man, the high worth of great souls who seek only God attainment, and the discipline which consists of devotion. That's the 9th chapter. So back to questions. I don't know.
We are talking of the 8th chapter. You gave the 9th chapter.
Oh, the 8th chapter. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's early in the morning here. Just okay. So we'll go back. I read the wrong sloka. Okay, back here. Okay. The varieties regarding relating to things that are to be known, and those that have to be adopted severally by the seekers after supramundane sovereignty, the true nature of the indestructible self in its pure state, and the feet of God are mentioned in the 8th chapter. So all of those things, right? Okay. Okay, good. Back to the questions. So all of these, yes, correct, good. All right. So the 10th question is, does the Lord, see, I was wrong from the very beginning with that question because I was thinking of the 9th chapter when I actually read 8th chapter. Crazy. Okay.
No problem.
Yeah. Does the Lord give up his original nature while he takes the incarnation, pervades everywhere? Is the inner soul of the demons? Is the inner soul of the good and the great souls and the devotees, or none of these?
None of these.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so should we see what it says in let's have a look. Let's consult the thing here. So we just said it before.
What do you mean by this? What do you mean by gives up? He does not give up his original nature. Keshavdas Swami, he knows. I want Govinda Chalpani. He has given the right answer. But
Okay, explain your answer. That's correct. Okay, go ahead, Swami. Explain your answer, Govinda.
Well, it says here, the 9th chapter well expounded his own unique greatness, his undiminished divinity, and his human incarnations, the high estimation of great souls who seek the Godhead and the discipline of devotion. The thing is that the Lord he never actually changes his nature. He's always the supreme, whole, Purnam. So he doesn't have to, because he takes Paramatma or different forms, it doesn't mean that he actually gives up his actual true nature. I don't know how else to explain that.
Your explanation reminds me Sarvapalli Dr. S. Radhakrishnan's terms. But
my explanation will be simpler.
Yeah.
Here's my explanation. My explanation is I read the question, does the Lord give up his original nature? The first 8 words tell me that it's not possible. So therefore I have to go immediately to E. So I just, as soon as I read the first eight words, I immediately
can you give me the Sanskrit term?
Huh? Swarupa. His original nature is that he is the Sheshi, right? We are the Shesha. So he's
That's
Sheshi.
what-
He never gives up
That's
Shesha.
what-
He gives
no,
them.
that's what Govindacharya said, Supreme. He also added Purnam. Okay.
Swamahatmyam,
So much.
Sattva.
No, I,
his
I'm
personal
so-
greatness.
no, this is the special term, Aprakrita Sharira.
Aprakrita.
Aprakrita Sharira. But
Oh,
okay. No, but I challenge that because there are other people who have Aprakrita Shariras also.
Who?
Nityas have Aprakrita Sharira.
But they don't take incarnate.
They don't what?
They don't take incarnate.
Nityas don't take incarnations.
Unless, of course,
What are the Alvars?
permitted. Unless I'm permitted special, the
Okay.
special permission.
They're permitted, yeah, like Jaya Vijaya.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay.
But that
But-
means that they take incarnations. Even though
No,
they're
but-
permitted or not, they take incarnations then, in that case.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
So Jaya Vijaya gave up their original nature by becoming demons.
all right. That's why I mentioned the word the inner soul of the demon,
The inner soul of the demons.
of the demons. I said, oh.
Okay. So when Jaya and Vijaya, when they were demons,
Took three births.
inside they were not demons. They
Yeah.
were only acting as demons.
Right,
It's
Right,
so
that's-
like actors in a stage play.
right. That's right.
Okay, good.
I think Madam
Yeah.
enjoys your explanation.
Maybe I don't know.
Yes. Makes us understand even more. much
Okay,
better.
so
Yeah.
what develops our devotion according to the 10th chapter? 10th chapter is Bhakti Yoga, no?
Yeah.
10th chapter is Bhakti Yoga.
10th chapter
No,
is
12th
an
chapter is Bhakti Yoga.
introduction to the Bhakti Yoga. Introduction to the Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah,
Introduction
so
to Bhakti
12th
Yoga.
chapter is Bhakti Yoga.
So,
Yeah.
12th chapter. Oh,
I thought
excuse
the
me. I'm
12th
wrong.
chapter
I'm
is
wrong.
Bhakti Yoga,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm wrong. 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga. You're right. Our intellect, his auspicious
I'll say
qualities,
his auspicious qualities, B.
feeling our helplessness, all these. According to Gitartha Sangraha, there's 2 places there. Okay. Are we allowed to look at the book?
It's B. B is auspicious qualities.
Yeah, but you have to explain. You have to explain why.
Well, it says again in Gitartha Sangraha, Swakalyana Gunanantya Kritnas, what is it? Kritsnaswadhinatatmatihi Bhakyutpati Vividhyarta Vistirna Dashamodita. This subject that is extensively dealt with in the 10th chapter in order to instill and develop devotion is the knowledge relating to his auspicious qualities, being infinite and all things being under his control.
Now, this is what first reading is okay. Tat Kalyana Guna Anantya. That's what endless number of auspicious qualities. What about the next one? Mati is there. The word Mati. Though granted by the Lord, our intellect is directed towards Him. So our intellect is more important. So all these will be done.
So the answer is all these.
Yeah. Because unless you feel akinchanyam, unless you feel karpanyam, the helplessness, you won't develop the devotion. Unless you feel that you are helpless, I will put it in the positive way. When we feel helpless, then our devotion is increased. Right. Any
Agreed. It's just that when the verse says that the auspicious qualities part, that's why I was thinking that. But then it's a trick question. And obviously, yes, all those things make sense.
Right. Your stress was on the quality. That's what the beginning first was. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tatkalyana
I was just going
Guna.
by the verse in Gitartha Sangraha, so that's why I went
Right.
for that.
Yeah, you read it
I mean,
very correctly.
there's definitely a lot of description in the 10th and 11th chapters about the Lord's qualities, because the 10th is the 11th they have shows universal form, right? So
Right.
Vishvarupam. So in the 10th is like a is a beginning, that is starting of that. Krishna starts to explain his auspicious qualities, and then he gets, instead of explaining it more, he just shows him the universal form.
Right.
And so definitely 10th and 11th have a lot of explanation of qualities. I'm not exactly sure how I see feeling of helplessness in there in the 10th chapter, but maybe.
I would thought 11th more, isn't it? That because when
Yeah.
Arjuna has the vision of that form, he really feels like helpless in front of that form.
Well, basically, Krishna starts to tell him his qualities, his divine Ham Savasya Prabhavo. He starts telling him things, then and shows him. Then afterwards, he gets overwhelmed, and he says, "I'm overwhelmed with this. Please show me your original form again."
Right.
Then Krishna shows four-handed form, and then Krishna comes back to his two-handed form, and then Arjuna becomes calm again. So he was overwhelmed. So but that comes only in the end of the 11th chapter. That doesn't come in the 10th chapter. So
he's baffled. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I accept that D is the answer, but I don't think that we see the feeling of helplessness in the 10th chapter. We only see it in the 11th chapter, in my opinion.
Okay. I said.
Does that mean I hate Yamunacharya's what he says? What does he say in the? What does he say in the? What does it actually say in the Gitartha Sangraha?
It says that the subject that is extensively dealt with in the 10th chapter, in order to instill and develop devotion, is the knowledge relating to his auspicious qualities, being infinite and all things being under his control.
So when he has total control, then we feel that we have no control over.
So, I mean, from my point of view, maybe when we read the 10th chapter, maybe we feel that all these things are
Right.
or are there. But I think Arjuna didn't feel helpless until the end of the 11th chapter. That's my opinion. And as far as the intellect part,
no, he felt helpless in the 2nd chapter.
Okay, that's a good point. He felt right from the 2nd chapter. He felt helplessness. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
But then the questions is according to the 10th chapter, so that's why.
My understanding is the helplessness is the underlying current developed.
Helplessness is the underlying current of the whole Gita from the 2nd chapter on. Right. Okay. Just as we are helpless to answer these questions. Okay. So can we move on? The 12th.
In the 11th chapter.
In the 11th chapter. This is a trick because it's the 12th question, 11th chapter. Okay. So I will not be confused.
That's because of the sugarcane came first.
This is because of this sugarcane thing.
Everything got thrown off because of the sugarcane.
See, by discussing sugarcane, one becomes intoxicated by discussing sugarcane, and one is unable to answer the questions. Okay, so grant us a supervision. The Lord is said to grant us a supervision or to realize him. Well, that's Vishvarupam, definitely. That's the good one.
Right.
Stress the importance of discipline of devotion. Okay. Advise us to do service to him for all of these. Okay, so am I supposed to do this without looking at the Gitartha Sangraha verse? Am I allowed to cheat and look at the? I'm not looking at I don't remember.
I could look at it for you, Swami.
No, give chance to madam.
I think C makes sense. Service to, when you do service to him, includes everything. So that's what I think C. Supervision, I'm not able to.
That we mean as Vishwarupa Darshan.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah,
I don't,
11's Vishwarupa Darshan. So A is definitely correct. A is definitely correct. So okay, by logic, I'm going to solve this by Anumanam only. Okay, if A is correct, either it is A or it is D, because A is correct. A must be correct because it is Vishwarupa Darshanam. So it is either A or D. So the question is, are B and C correct? So we have to see, does he advise us to do service of him in the 11th chapter? Does he stress the importance of the discipline of devotion in the 11th chapter?
According to Yamunacharya, yes.
Good.
Okay.
Govindacharya's answer is, final answer is?
Final answer is D.
D.
B,
D.
D.
Oh, D.
D.
Okay. Okay, who wants to be a Kropati number 13? Okay. The nature of the discipline of devotion, according to the 12th chapter, is that it gives, this is 12 chapters Bhakti Yoga, right?
Yeah.
So 12th chapter, it gives a quicker result, expects the relishing of his characteristics, attaches a lot of importance for the helpless soul in practicing devotion to adopting Prapati Yoga, all of these.
Madam, sorry.
The nature of the discipline according to gives quicker result. I think all of these, Swami.
I think it's all these two, but yeah. I was just a little bit confused about the Prapati Yoga.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, all of these. Because it's all about Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah. Right.
13.
Here we go. Big question now.
13 is gonna be okay. 12, 13, the central body.
You can take the cue from the questions and answers.
One moment. So are we finished with that one?
14th.
He gave us a clap, so I think it was all these.
Yeah, all these, right. Okay. And then the last question, final question is for today. Summarize the second 6 chapters topics in your own words.
This is long, so you can write it and send it to me tomorrow. Or you can take each only 5 minutes.
Okay, so
it's only highlight what you understood from the second 6 chapter. One or two highlights.
Okay, so I would
basically,
say all the things discussed. All the things discussed in all the other questions.
Basically, it's Bhakti Yoga mainly, and Bhakti Yoga which includes karma and jnana. That's a summary of it. Basically, the 6 chapters is mainly about Bhakti Yoga to the Lord, which requires as an auxiliary karma yoga or performance of works with knowledge, jnana, in order for one to realize the Lord. That's my own words, what I think. Of course, that's not a long answer, but it's a short answer.
Okay, so I think there are a lot of topics. There are a lot of topics.
Yeah.
That a lot of topics. Seventh chapter, which is all. First of all, the 7th chapter talks about Prakriti. It talks about the difference between the soul and Prakriti. It talks about the 4 types of people who who worship God and the 4 types who don't worship God. You know, I mean, you know.
That is why now you understand the middle part of the sugar cane is sweeter. Because of the what do you call it?
I think
the quality.
Yeah. So the middle part has the most information, the most topics in it. It's,
Right.
Yeah.
Fund of information.
So the first part is only really karma yoga and jnana yoga and the beginning. The first chapter, there's just practically no philosophy in it at all. It's just the setting up the scene, and then second chapter is all about you know, beginning.
The first chapter is a prelude to a drama.
Prelude, yeah, exactly. So really doesn't get going. I mean, we don't even start with Bhakti Yoga before we get to the middle 6 chapters. So
right.
So therefore,
Govindacharya Swami, we will be discussing with Bhakti Yoga only from the 13th chapter to 18th, more deeply.
Right. Yeah, things are going into more detail.
I was going with definitely there's more detail, and I'm sure for the purposes of your question, definitely you want more detail. I was just going by Gitartha Sangraha's 3rd verse, which summarizes the 6 chapters. So that's why I gave that answer.
You have gone through all the 13 questions to say.
This is what he was emphasizing here. The middle, in the middle group of 6 chapters, as well as the division, as well as the discipline of devotion, which is required the performance of works with the knowledge of the self for the sake of the success in the perfect experience of the entity known as the Lord, as he is in reality, as he is in his own distinctive form and attributes. That's Imar Sampakumar and some.
That's a nice summary, and it gives really the essence.
Okay, so Swami,
completely open.
Can we remember you asked me about? I just wanted to bring this up. While we were all sitting here, I was reading a little bit from Rahasya Trayasaram. And remember, I said to you that if a Shudra is supervised by a Brahmin, he can cook. He can cook, and the Brahmin can eat that food. And it's in Rahasya Trayasaram. Remember, I said that, and you asked me where.
You said that.
So I have Rahasya Trayasaram, which is I think 1956 edition by M.R. Rajgopal Iyengar, published by Agnihotram Ramanujittarachara of Kumbakonam. Yeah, and in page 300, excuse me, I think 302, page 302, it says, when a member of one caste is praised as being of another caste, it is to state that he should be esteemed as such at heart. But social conduct is regulated by special rules governing it. So he gives an example here. Vedanta Deshi gives an example. It says Sri Vidura too performed marriages and the like in accordance with the rules of his caste. After the best of Brahmins had eaten, Sri Krishna sat on a high seat and ate the pure and delicious food offered by Vidura. So on hearing this, Duryodhana said to Sri Krishna, without coming to Bhishma, Drona, or to me, O thou of lotus eyes, why didst thou eat, O Madhusudana, in the house of a Shudra. So Duryodhana asked Krishna, and Krishna says, the food offered by an enemy should not be taken. So also,
Dvishadannam na bhoktavya. Dvishadannam na bhoktavya. Dvishantam na bhojaye.
so also an enemy should not be given food to eat. You hate the Pandavas, O king. He's saying to Duryodhana, are they not my very life? In answering thus, it is evident that Sri Krishna admitted the truth of the particular caste ascribed to Vidura by Duryodhana. So Krishna admits that Vidura is a Shudra.
Right.
So the question,
But
he says here, So, okay.
But here, he has not cooked the food. He offered food.
Oh, Vidura didn't cook that food?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he only served the food.
Yeah, no. He offered the food. And again, the surprising thing is, the Krishna ate the peeled skin of the banana than the banana itself. He did not eat the fruit. He ate the skin.
So we can eat the banana skins of Sudras, but not the bananas? What's the point?
No. That is another aspect. But fruit can be taken.
Fruit can be taken. So in this case, it was fruit. It was only fruit.
Yeah.
So there was no cooking involved. There's no cooking involved.
Virshana bhojanam. Duryodhana was asking Virshana bhojanam. Okay.
So then, but then it goes on, it says, it may be asked, is not the eating of food cooked by a Shudra forbidden to Brahmins and Kshatriyas? Yeah. The answer is as follows, and Vedanta Deshika quotes Apastamba, and he says, Apastambas and others state that Shudras who are under the supervision of Aryas are competent to cook their food. And he quotes from Apastamba Dharma Sutra 224.
Yeah.
He gives the actual pramanam from Apastamba. So he says so that's the point that I was trying to say to you, that if a Shudra under the supervision of a Brahmin can cook, and that's accepted by Apastamba.
Does he give the exact quotation in Sanskrit?
No, but we can look it up. I'll look it up. I'll find it for you. Yeah. So then he says we read further, the pure Vidura, having the qualities necessary for it, brought the food. This testifies to it as Vidura's exceptional qualities are referred to. So
and again, Lord Krishna was not a Brahmin.
He was a Kshatriya.
Yeah.
Or actually, we can say he was born a Kshatriya, but he was raised as a Vaishya.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. That is the best time.
So his biological parents were Kshatriyas, but his foster parents, Yashoda and Nanda, they were Vaishyas. Yeah. Okay.
And there's no restriction on Lord Krishna to take food in Vidura's house.
No restriction on Krishna to take food from Vidura.
Vidura's house.
Because he wasn't a Brahmin. Is that right?
No.
Because Krishna wasn't a Brahmin? Okay, so you make a big distinction between Brahmins and non-Brahmins.
Yeah.
Even though Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are also Dvijas, they're also Dvijas, but still they don't have all the regulations they don't have all the prohibitions that Brahmins have. So
right.
Brahmins have that prohibition; they cannot take from anybody but another Brahmin.
Right.
So if a Brahmin goes to a king, if a Brahmin goes to the palace of a king and the king offers food to the Brahmin cannot eat the food?
No, cannot. Unless it is cooked by a Brahmin.
Unless it's cooked by a Brahmin. Okay. But that rule of taking food from only Brahmins is only for Brahmins and not for Kshatriyas and Vaishyas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they can take food that's cooked by Shudras.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what in Ramavatar also we have the of course example. Guha offered honey, fish, and so on. But of course, Rama had no time to take it. Rama hurried up.
Okay, but Guha was a tribal, right?
Tribal, yeah. Tribal.
Yeah. Tribal is not even a Shudra, it's less than a Shudra, no?
Yeah, in Panchama.
He's a Panchama. So Rama, so our Kshatriyas and Vaishyas can take even from Panchamas?
Right.
Okay. So Guha offered different things to Rama.
Yeah.
You're saying he offered fish to Rama also?
Yeah.
But Rama didn't have time to eat them.
Right.
But Rama was not averse to eating the fish.
Yeah, that's it.
So so in the forest, when Rama was in the forest, sometimes people ask the question, were they vegetarian or were they non-vegetarian when they were living in the forest?
No, he could have been a non-vegetarian, but he was following a vow of protecting the sages. He did not take non-vegetarian. In fact, he offered a non-vegetarian food. According to some poet, there's no proof in Valmiki Ramayana. He offered mamsa, the meat, to the males, especially Dasharatha, dead Dasharatha.
But it is stated that in Kali Yuga, you should not offer the meat to the mains. You cannot offer meat in the Shraddha ceremony to the ancestors. But in Kali Yuga, this is one of the five things in Kali Yuga which are forbidden, right? Sannyasa and offering meat to the forefathers. I'm forgetting what the other ones are. The brother-in-law impregnating a widow. That's one.
Right.
There are two others. Taking of sannyas.
That's right. That's what you said first.
Oh, I said first. Sannyas, taking sannyas, offering meat to the forefathers, brother-in-law impregnating the widow. Horse sacrifice, cow sacrifice.
Oh, yeah, Ashwamedha. Yeah.
Ashwamedha, horse sacrifice, and I forget the fifth one. I'm not sure. Maybe
okay, no problem.
Right. Okay. So are you saying, back to this idea about the banana and the banana skin? The banana skin was eaten by Krishna because it was offered with love. Is that the idea? Yeah.
No, he forgot in the discussion whether he has to eat banana fruit or the skin.
He forgot that.
Yeah. The involvement in the discussion so deep that Vidura also did not realize that he was taking this.
But that's the only thing Vidura offered him was fruit?
That's what
that's generally understood.
Duryodhana misunderstood that he took food and bhojanam in Vidura's house. And again, even today, Kali Yuga, anybody can take milk from anyone, or even Panchama.
Right.
But you are not supposed to take coffee like that. Pure milk is allowed.
Okay. I think the idea is that people when they go around, they do the unchavritti. They go around and they beg from people. Normally what they're begging for is they're begging for uncooked food. Right. So they get rice, but the rice is not cooked and they have to cook it themselves. Right. So Brahmins, when they do unchavritti, whereas if somebody's a Shudra, you can give them cooked food. But my question would be, when Ramanujacharya you mentioned that they tried to poison him.
Yeah.
So if they tried to poison him, it means that he was doing unchavritti and they were giving cooked food to him.
Right.
So when a sannyasi is always a Brahmin, a sannyasi is a Brahmin. Only Brahmins take sannyas. So he, as a Brahmin sannyasi, he was doing unchavritti, and people were giving him cooked food.
Yeah. So it was easily understood that it was poison.
Yeah. But when Vedanta Deshika also did the unchavritti, but he was a grihasta. He was a grihasta. Yeah. So because the Gita says naniragnina chakriya, the sannyasi cha yogi cha naniragnina chakriya. So naniragnir means that a sannyasi and a yogi, they cannot cook for themselves. Right. So Vedanta Deshika was a grihasta, so the people gave him rice, uncooked rice. Right. And he took it home and his wife cooked. Whereas Ramanujacharya, as a sannyasi, everybody knows the sannyasi can't cook. So they must give him only cooked food.
Yeah.
So,
for example, a sannyasi today, Kali Yuga, will have a couple, the husband and wife, to offer bhiksha, to offer the alms. And so today, many sannyasis do not go for unchavritti, and therefore they have a couple meant for offering bhiksha to them. So in that case, even if the sannyasi goes for unchavritti or say goes digging, he will not be given cooked.
He won't be given food?
Cooked food.
Cooked food. So in case a sannyasi does go for unchavritti, he won't be given cooked food.
Yeah.
Okay. But mostly they don't go for unchavritti.
Sannyasi is supposed to go on unchavritti.
Supposed to. But nowadays they have each sannyasi has got a mattam, and he stays in his mattam. And somebody is cooking in the mattam. There's also some deities, some archavigrahas. So somebody is cooking in the matapali. They're cooking in the kitchen for the gods offering, and afterwards the sannyasi is eating the prasadam, along with other people who live in the mattam. Right. So there's no begging, but he's not cooking. So when we say that in Kali Yuga sannyas is forbidden, what kind of sannyas is forbidden? Is this is there a different type of sannyas?
Forbidden in the sense, in doing what is forbidden.
We've mentioned, though, there are 5 things which are forbidden in Kali Yuga. The monk offering the meat in the Shraddha ceremony and taking sannyas is another one. So in what way? Because we see many people are taking sannyas. Not many, but few people are taking sannyas. But in Shastra, there's a prohibition in Kali Yuga for taking sannyas. But we see Alavandar and Ramanuja and many acharyas are sannyasis. So even in Kali Yuga. So what is the rationale that they have? What is the reason they say they can take sannyas, even though the Shastra says you should not take sannyas in Kali Yuga?
Where is this Kali Yuga prohibition?
Okay, I will find the sloka. We'll talk about it some other time. Let me find it first. So I will also find the quote from Apastamba about the Shudras cooking. Yeah.
The quote, but I'm only seeing it in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it's not saying where from, but it says Ashwamedam Gavalambham Sanyasam Pala Paitrikam Devarena Sutotpattim Kalau Pancha Vivarjayete. In the age of Kali, 5 acts are forbidden: the offering of a horse in sacrifice, the offering of a cow in sacrifice, the acceptance of
What? Can you tell me what it is? Because I'll put it on the screen. You can see.
It's coming up as from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 17.164. 17.164.
Okay.
What was the word the second half in the first expression? That is Kalau
Second half?
Panchavarjaye. Kalau Panchavarjaye. What are the first previous word?
The previous word is
Here it is, Swami.
Sutotpatim.
Bigger
Sutotpatim.
form.
This is coming from Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Krishna Janma Kanda 185, 180.
Okay.
Ashvamedha, Gavalambham, Sannyasam, Palapaitrinam,
Palapaitrikam.
Palapaitrikam, Devarena.
Pala is the first letter. Pa. Unaspirated consonant. Meaning meat. Pala means meat.
Yeah. Devarena, Sutotpatim, Kalau, Pancha Vivarjayet.
Oh, Devarena Sutotpatim.
But Brahma Vaivarta Purana, is it a Sattvika Purana? I think is it?
It is.
I thought it was Rajasic.
I thought it was Rajasic Purana.
Oh. Brahma Vaivarta.
This Brahma Vaivarta Purana has a lot of the Radha Krishna leelas in it. But I thought it was a Rajasic Purana personally. Anyway, so yeah, cow sacrifice and horse sacrifice, taking of sannyas, offering meat to the forefathers, and production of a child in the brother's wife, the widow.
Yeah.
Because if a man dies and his wife has no child, right, then the brother-in-law is supposed to give her a child so that she has a child to look after her later on, right?
Right.
Like in the Mahabharata.
Okay, so that was my question, that if this is accepted, if this pramanam is accepted, then what kind? Maybe they're saying there's a different type of sannyas which they're taking, because the sannyasis used to wander about. They had no mattam. There was no mattam system. They used to be all alone, and they would wander around and do unchavriti and.
Yeah, they were always vagabonds.
Yeah, vagabonds. Okay. Good word. Okay, thank you, Govinchai, for finding that quote. Okay, so we still have to answer question 14 in writing or something. Is that it? Is it? Or is it already answered? Is it answered?
It's answered, but better that one writes to remind themselves.
Okay, all right. So even without answering question 14, did we pass?
Yeah. That is, I wanted to tell Govindacharya especially, and Madam also. The parents of the, say, for example, father asked his son, did you answer all questions in the examination? He said, out of 10 questions, I didn't know the answer for 9 questions. And then I didn't write anything. He said. Then why did you leave the one question? Because I left it in choice.
I'm sorry, you left it in
Say that last part again. You what? You left her?
She left it in choice, because in choice you can leave 2 or 3 questions. So out of 10 questions, one should answer only 7 or 5. Or in our postgraduate study, master's degree in Sanskrit, we are supposed to answer only 5 questions out of 10.
I see.
Oh, okay.
So he said, I left it.
So why did you make us answer all 14?
No.
Because we're still kindergarten level, remember?
No,
You
no,
told
no.
us kindergarten level.
No, no, another joke in our college was the Department of Commerce used to have a question paper. Every time the question paper will say at the top, the question number 14 is compulsory, and you can leave other questions in choice. So my question was to the rather academic council was, if the student doesn't know the answer of the 14th question, the compulsory question, what should he do?
If you don't know the answer, you just can't answer it. You leave it out. But once you've answered all the rest, you have a better chance of passing.
Now, another joke here.
So, okay, let me understand this. If there are 10 questions and you only have to answer 5, right? If you answer all 10, do they mark all 10 or do they only mark 5?
Yeah, for that, we had a system of examination in Annamalai University. Then I wrote the pre-university examination just before the degree, especially in mathematics, not in any other subject. So the top instruction will be 2/3 of the question paper will carry full marks. Meaning, as you said, so with leaving the choice, if you answer whatever is expected to be answered, then you get 100%. And if you can answer all the questions, all the 10 questions, then you get the more marks than, so out of 100, you get either 120, 30. So I couldn't find time to answer all the questions, but I completed 100 in mathematics. So that is the type of question paper. And with regard to the multiple choice question, in those days, even today, I think, generally we keep the students far apart so that he will not be able to peep into the next student's paper. Just somewhere wearing the glasses, and therefore they could, because of the power of the eyes, less power of the eyes, they couldn't see that at a distance others' paper. Sometimes the answer paper is passed on from one student to another student without the knowledge of the invigilator and so on. And when the invigilator is very careful, nothing can be done. So what the students will say, do it for multiple choice questions. So already they will discuss and decide how to answer. So question number 1, they will give you number, they will raise their hand. The others will understand. The intelligent student will raise question number 1 by signal. Then for A, B, C, D, they will have some code word. So suppose I touch my head, it is 1, A.
Oh my God.
If I touch my nose, it is D.
Oh my God.
So, Nyasa.
Devata Chandra.
Nyasa Vimsadi.
Rishi Devata Chandra. And then if you touch the ear, that is D.
Oh.
Then they will have. So no talk. So all signals. And then a French student in Pondicherry, the word Pondicherry. So the French students copy in a different way. So the Keshav, just for example, Keshavdas will have the bit written in small paper, and then keep it on the back, keep it at the back, within the shirt, within the t-shirt. Then the man or woman behind, the student behind him, will ask question, and then what is the answer to the question number 5. Then if he has already we have already written the answer because he expected some answer. So then he will just shrug his shoulder and then bring the paper from the back out. And the invigilator should will not be able to identify it immediately. Then the student behind will read the paper. As soon as the invigilator finds something is going on wrong, then he will again shrug the shoulder and get it inside. That happened in the case of two girls also. And then they found out. So the invigilator will not probe into the girl's dress.
I see. So keeping the
Now-
answers
now-
in so many places.
Right. Another trick that we changed over the system of examination. That is, we will have 4 sets of multiple choice questions. Same question paper, but in Keshavdas question paper it will be number 1. In Madam question paper it will be 4. She cannot copy you, or you cannot signal to her. That's it. So that is
Yeah, but this is also a little bit. All of the questions have to be the same difficulty, though. That's the problem with that system.
The question is, rather the right way of framing questions is, intelligent student will get 90% or 100%. A dull student will have to fail or get only 30 to 40% below the average. So why is it? So that should be the difficulty of the question paper or the easiness of the question paper. And as you said, some questions are easy in my today's. So some easy questions are also framed. For example, my own predecessor, Sanskrit professor in college, framed questions with 4 answers correct. So you cannot escape passing. So it's only for because others may not understand Sanskrit. We always have questions in Sanskrit. Nobody else can understand. Then A, B, C, D, all the 4 answers will be right answers. So it helps some dull students to pass. Then another is a difficult, very difficult application question. Application questions will be very difficult. Information questions will be very easy. You can directly get the answers from the book, but only when you apply your mind you can answer some questions. So that questions will be posing a challenge to the intelligent student. This one is all. So that is the objective question paper writing is very difficult one because it should cover 4 objectives: learning out what you must fix the outcomes of learning, ordinary understanding, and then finally the deep analysis. So first to fix the outcomes of learning before this. Very nice.
So did you? Are you still avoiding telling us whether we passed or not?
Tomorrow is the last, the final test.
Anyway, I think I did a little better today than yesterday. Yesterday I was not doing well.
We're getting some certification, right, Swami?
Right. The specifications of outcome of learning. Right.
And the certification is Vishnu Sahasranama. Which version of Vishnu Sahasranama?
Right.
I'm probably to add icing on top of the cake, Upavita Pratishta.
I have. I remember I have taken 3 or 4 books, rather consultations with the Parasara Bhatta's explanation of Vishnu Sahasranama, and of course Shankaracharya and other books. And then finally I've come to the conclusion that which is better according to me. And of course everybody knows that there are three versions, namely Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, and Madhvacharya, given by Lifko exactly. And some of them are only synonyms. Some of them only displays the displacement of letters. That's all. Nothing else. The only thing is the explanation of Shankaracharya differs little from rather Ramanujacharya's differs little from Shankaracharya. And there are some repetitions. There are more, the names are also repetitive. And therefore, I'll fix them before they reach.
Can you teach us also, Swami? Can you teach us the meanings as well?
But I'm ready to do it, but I don't know, but I'll take up Parasara Bhattar I can, of course, take Shankaracharya also. But we need some, I mean, if you want a lot of explanations, I will not be able to give it because, and it will be again very elaborate that we don't stand the explanation.
Just meaning of the stotram should be fine.
Oh, meaning.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
If somebody in a Sankalpa says Hari Om Tat Sat, and if they say Sat, it means that they want some material benefit from what they're doing.
Yeah, material, yeah, that's it.
And if they say Tat, it means that they want freedom from birth.
Yeah.
And if they just say Om, what does it mean?
Only that means you are doing a Vedic ritual.
Okay. So in the Sankalpa, we the Prapanas are supposed to say only Hari Om Tat.
Hari Om Tat.
Yeah, Hari Om Tat. But if you like, let's say we've been reading with Dr. Alwar that according to Mumukshapati, it says that the Astakshara mantra will also give riches and fame and all these other things that if people want material things, they can also get it from chanting Astakshara mantra.
Right.
So when we do Astakshara Japam, if we do a Sankalpa Hari Om Tat Sat, then we'll not only get moksha, but we'll also get material things as well.
Right. That's why I heard it TOO. If for worldly prosperity too.
Right. So when people choose D, they can get everything. But that's why the Prapanas should always choose. They should always choose only to say Hari Om Tat and not Sat. Okay.
Right.
And where is it explained? Where is it explained? Because I read Gitartha Sangraha, I read Bhagavad Gita, I missed it. Where is it explained that Sat has something to do with material prosperity and Tat has something to do with freedom from birth and death?
Yeah, I'll tell you the exact page.
Is it coming from Rahasya Trayasara?
No, from the Gitartha Sangraham, Tamil work of Sri Vedanta Desha.
The Tamil work. In the Tamil work, it says that. Okay. All right.
What is the number of the chapter?
This is another reason why one does, I guess, Bharan in Deshika Sampradaya, one does Bharanyasam later on in life. Because I remember when we were doing Gitartha Sangraha, one topic came up about Hayagriva and praying for knowledge, including material knowledge. So it seems that, up until the point of Bharanyasam, one would say Sat because one wants material prosperity until one actually becomes a Prapanna, because you don't become a Prapanna until you do Bharanyasam. Is that correct?
Can you elaborate?
And I want to add on to his question there. I want to add on to this question is why do people in Deshika Sampradaya do Sattvika Tyaga before doing Bharanyasam? Why the whole life you're doing Sattvika Tyaga? You say the Lord is doing everything and he should get the benefit, he should get the fruit. but actually, you're not a prapana until after you do Bharanyasa. So, aren't you before doing Bharanyasa? Don't you also want to get some fruit, some benefits?
See, even in Bharanyasa, as you said that about Dr. M.A. Adwa meditating upon the Ashtakshara mantra will also reap the benefits of this world. Yes, we expect some fruits of this material benefits here, and therefore we want them. That's why we say no, before doing Bharanyasa, the sankalpa, satvika tyaga is done because we say that we don't have any freedom of action. Every action is his. Even the Bharanyasa that you do is his.
Okay,
Therefore,
so the whole life you do the satvika tyaga,
yeah,
because you realize that every action is his.
yeah.
But before Bharanyasa, you also still desire to get some fruit.
Yeah. No, not only before Bharanyasa. Even after Bharanyasa, we expect some material benefit.
Oh,
Really?
I thought Satvika Tyaga means you don't want any result.
Yeah.
For yourself.
No, our general attitude. As you said, as prapannas, we don't sacrifice our material benefit.
Okay, so the attitude, you're just saying there's a general attitude that people do things and they want a result. Okay,
right,
I accept that. I accept that. But shouldn't we, we should try, after Bharanyasa, our attitude, we should try to have an attitude that we don't want something.
Right, you are right. Even before Bharanyasa or after Bharanyasa, you must have the attitude of not expecting any fruit from action. Right. So the problem is what is practical. Karmanyevadhikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. How many of us can practice it in full?
Okay, so
in other words, you're actually working towards that. It's theory until that point.
Yeah, so he's saying he's saying it's theory up until that point. But the thing is, you're saying the general attitude is always like that, as long as we have a material body. So it's just that. So there's no difference. We should, before Bharanyasa, we should not think that we want the fruit, and after Bharanyasa, we should also not think we want the fruit. But still,
right. That's what is the ideal situation. Ideal situation.
Okay, so in the ideal situation, somebody doesn't want the fruit before Bharanyasa and doesn't want the fruit after Bharanyasa. But in the real situation, someone wants the fruit before Bharanyasa and also after Bharanyasa. So I'm wondering what is the point of Bharanyasa then?
No, that's right.
If the attitude doesn't change after Bharanyasa, what's the point?
But because I was compelled to do Bharanyasa, I do. I never believe in Bharanyasa.
Who compels you to do Bharanyasa?
My parents, my preceptor.
So somebody who's very learned and maybe very devoted, he may think that the Lord is compelling me to do Bharanyasa. And another person may be thinking my father and my parents or my family or my society are forcing me to do Bharanyasa. So in either case, we think somebody else is forcing me to do Bharanyasa. So is there anybody doing Bharanyasa who really wants to do Bharanyasa themselves?
That's a mute question.
That's a moot question because everybody does it. Okay.
Then it becomes a ritual.
So really,
it becomes a ritual.
so really, the only people who are really doing Paranyasa are the people who don't have to do it, but still they do it.
Yeah.
There
are people.
There will be non-Iyengars.
Yeah, as I understand from your statement, very good, very good. I have the attitude of Bharanyasa, but I don't need to do that.
That's true. That's true. That's
Right.
true. So,
Right.
right. So that in that way we understand that that is really just a ritual, but actually our whole life we should have the attitude of property.
Right. What Govinda Swami said is okay. That's because it's a. I mean, don't call it. It's a mechanical ritual.
Right. So the real Bharanyasa is internal.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I understand.
So it boils down that without realization, then Bharanyasam also doesn't really take place because it can't just be a ritual. It has to be with realization.
Yeah. I learned from you of many things.
Not at all.
But I still no. I disagree with that. I think even if there's no realization, still it has an effect.
Right.
Still it has an effect. We
Right.
say in English we say practice makes perfect.
Mm.
So when we practice, when people practice, they make mistakes. They don't practice is never perfect. We're practicing. Right. As long as we're practicing, God is going to make that perfect.
Right.
His anugraha, his
right, blessing.
His blessing is going to come.
He has what we lack and provides what we don't have.
So till we get His mercy, there are a lot of, at least some imperfection is there in us.
Yeah, I think imperfection is always there in us. So, until the end of the body, there's going to be imperfection.
That again proves why Prapati Yoga is really truly the only way. It is the only way because it's never going to be complete.
Should we look at that?
That's why, as she said, just practice makes one perfect.
Should we look at the questions again?
Yeah.
So we finished this question. So sannyas.
Just once again, it is in the page 118 in the Gitartha Sangraham of the Tamil Prabandham published by Madhurantakam Veeraraghavacharya Swami in 2000. And he gives it the Om Tat Sat explanation in page 118. So this is from the commentary of Madhurantakam Veeraraghavacharya. That answers your sankalpa, nature of sankalpa.
Oh, I'm sorry. He said in his commentary about the sankalpa that we shouldn't use the word sat.
He doesn't mention about the sankalpa there. He says the usage of Om Tat Sat.
The usage of Om Tat Sat in any context, not just sankalpa.
In any context. Yeah.
Okay, and but does he specifically say the word sat means material prosperity?
Yeah, that's it. Sat, by saying the word Sat, you expect both prosperity, the prosperity of this world and the next world.
Okay, and he says about Tat, it means freedom from birth?
Yeah, Tat. Tat is for freedom from birth and death.
So
I'll just, because you understand Tamil also, you say,
I don't understand.
Immai Marumahelakum. That means for both prosperity of this world and that world. Mokshathirku upogapadum Vedathil solliya yagam tapas danam And for all the, Tamil, Vaidika karmangal அனைத்தையும் பிரணவத்தை சொல்லி அனுஷ்டித்தல் வேண்டும். The pranava must be used for all the Vaidika karmas, all scriptural actions. And then moksha sadhana karma, Tamil, moksha sadhana karmakalukku tat. But the tat will be associated with Om also. Om tat. Then if you want prosperity of this world and that world, then along with the pranava, you must say pranavaturan sat என்று சொல்லி செய்ய வேண்டும். ஐஹிகம் ஆமுஷ்மிகம், பலம் தரும் கர்மா பிரணவத்துடன் சத் என்று சொல்லி செய்ய வேண்டும். If you don't have any other aim in the fruit of அதாவது தமிழ்ல சொல்றேன், பலனில் நோக்கில்லாமல் அனுஷ்டிக்கும் யாகம் முதலியது பக்தியை இடையிட்டு மோட்ச சாதனமாம். Suppose you perform sacrifice without expecting any fruit, that will be involving the discipline of devotion, and that will be the means to moksha, means to emancipation. And when you have more sattva quality, these actions must be performed. And if you want to increase your sattva quality, your food should be a sattva ahar. So sattvaத்தை விருத்தி செய்வதற்கு ஆகாரம் சத்துவம் சத்துவமாக தழைக்கும். The sattva will increase the sattva quality.
Okay, so I have two questions. One is that so there is there also a person, a prapana should always aspire for moksha, or he can also give up the desire for moksha also.
Yeah, prapana should give up the desire for moksha.
So if he gives up, okay, so
he must aim at only the preeti of the Lord.
Yeah, so if he only, so the Ahobalam Mat Anikam says in the Sankalpa we should use Hari Om Tat and not Sat. But right. Tat is for moksha. Tat is for moksha. If somebody wants moksha, that is also not the highest ideal of property. The highest ideal of property, you said, is Preeti only. So if we want Preeti only, we should say Hari Om only and not Tat.
Right, that's right.
It never says this in the Anakam. Why?
That's why I said practical situation and real situation. Rather, the ideal situation.
Okay, but the real situation you said was that everybody also wants some material benefit too.
Right.
So if just to show that we don't want material benefit, we say Hari Om Tat and not Sat. Right. So should we not also, to show that we don't really want moksha also, theoretically, we should just say Hari Om and not Tat.
Hari Om, yeah.
But that's that instruction is never given in the Anakam.
Yeah, that's right. See, Madhurantaka Veeracharya Swami is a Swayamacharya Purusha. He is not a Shishya of Ahobalam Mat.
I see. Okay, so as far as Ahobalam Mat is concerned, they follow Ahobalam Mat Anikam, so they say Hari Om Tat if they're prapanas. If they're not prapanas, if they haven't done Bharanyasa, they can say Hari Om Tat Sat.
Right.
But as far as this other
Sampradaya,
other acharya, he's a Deshika Sampradaya.
No, Deshika Sampradaya only.
He's in Deshika Sampradaya, but he's a Swayamacharya, and he's basically saying we should just say Hari Om and not Tat or Sat either.
Right.
Okay.
This is a subtle difference between among the Deshika Sampradaya followers.
Amongst the Deshika Sampradaya followers, and but the Tenacharya Sampradaya people, they don't even mention this. No, I don't think they mention. They don't go into this detail. Okay, so that was one question I had, I guess. The other thing was we came to the food thing about Sattvic Ahara. If we take Sattvic Ahara, if we continue to take Sattvic Ahara, we will become more and more Sattvic.
Yeah.
And if we slip from that, sometimes we take some ahara which is not sattvic for some reason, right? Then our sattva goes down. Right. Okay. So then you asked me yesterday about the quote from Dharma Shastras from Apastamba. So I looked it up. Yeah. So I want to read that part to you. I can also write it out.
Send me by.
I'll send you the Sanskrit. Yeah, but I just wanted to read you that section. It says, this is in the Apastamba 2. He says, Arya men who are pure should cook the food intended for the offering to all gods. The cook should refrain from speaking, coughing, or sneezing while facing the food. He should he touch his hair, body, or garment, he should wash himself with water. I don't know whether that means achamana or I'm not sure. Alternatively, Shudra men under the supervision of an Arya may do the cooking. They are to follow the identical procedure of sipping, meaning, I guess, achamana,
Right.
with the additional requirement that every day they have to shave their hair of their heads, bodies, and beards. Clip their nails. Yeah, sarvangam. Every day. Yeah, clip their nails and bathe with their clothes on.
Huh?
Bathe with their clothes on. Take the bath wearing the clothes. Alternatively, they may shave only on the Astami of each fortnight and the Purnima and Amavasya days.
Right.
If the food has been prepared by them out of his sight, meaning the Sudras are doing
without
the cooking, and the Arya doesn't see that, the householder should place it over the fire. He should place it over the fire and sprinkle it with water. Such food, they say, is pure enough even for the gods. So a Shudra can cook, even the Brahmin doesn't see him cook, but the Brahmin can take his food, place it on the fire, reheat it, and sprinkle some water on it. You know, Om Bhurvava Suvaha probably, and it becomes pure. When the food has been prepared, the cook should stand and announce it to his master. So the Shudra cook should say to the master, when the food is prepared, it is done. And the latter, the master, replies, it is well done. This is splendid food. May it never fail. So that is the section.
The word is suputam.
Is it suputam?
Yeah, suputam.
Okay, so I'll type out the Sanskrit. I'll also look for the commentaries because I think I have commentaries on that, and I'll type it all out and I'll send it to you by email. If you have any other comments on that, but that seems pretty clear to me that is not really accepted today. People are not accepting that today. If I went in Sri Rangam and I said, you know, come to my house, if I said to any Orthodox person, come to my house as a foreigner, and please take food that I cook, and you can watch me cook. You watch me cook it and offer it to my Shalagrama, and then you can take. And people will say, no, we can't take. Most Orthodox Iyengars are not going to eat my food.
Will not take food.
Yeah. So I understand that. I have no problem with that. Some people are more Orthodox, some people are less Orthodox. But I'm interested to show that Apastamba says the opposite. He says it's possible. And the option is there. And even I can cook without anybody watching me, any Brahmin watching me. And I give it to the Brahmin, and he simply reheats it and sprinkles it, and he can take it, and it's considered okay.
Right.
So anyway, this is just something. This is an Apastamba. Maybe some people also don't follow Apastamba. So there are or Bodhayana. There are some people following different sutras, so they may have a different opinion. I understand that. Okay, so that was just.
I'm happy to get the source from you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you get the source. I will give you not only the sauce, I'll give you the thing to go put the sauce on. Okay, so back to the questions, yeah? Back to the questions. So that was nice about Om Tat Sat. Now, question 14 was about sannyasa. Self-sacrifice, all actions are for his worship, aradhanam, or property, total surrender, and we all answered all of these.
Right.
Sriman Narayana is the source for sense. Well, as soon as you say Lord Sriman Narayana is the source, then whatever comes afterwards has to be true because he's the source for everything.
Right.
So he simply said all of these.
Right.
we didn't need
so
to.
Simple.
Yeah, we didn't need to read these. Okay, so the discipline of devotion includes action, wisdom, total surrender. So we agree.
Right.
All of these. The karma yoga encompasses penance, visit to holy places, and gifting or assisting in sacrifice, yajna, or all of these or none of these, and we said all of these.
Right.
So the three yogas are achievable by daily duties, occasional duties, nitya naimittika karmas, and understanding of the self. So we said again all of these because if it is only daily duties, it cannot be only daily duties or occasional duties. So once you say it's two, it must be all.
Nitya and naimittika.
Yeah, it must be all. It must be all of these because both nitya and naimittika are daily duties. Okay, so the wise person should have exclusive devotion to the Lord, the feeling of being controlled, under his control, grief when separated from the Lord, and happiness with associating with him. Yes, we said yes. Wise person should have all these. The wise do with their mind, the sense organs, and intellect, prayers, prostration, praise, and sing about him. So we said, yeah, the wise person will do all of these things, right? Yeah, he'll do, this is...
it's called Ukti, Vandana, Stuti, and Kirtanaihi.
Yeah, so actually the Lord says, Manmana bhava madbhakto majiji mam namaskuru, mami vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. And he also says, mami vaishasi yuktvaivam matparayanam, right? So there's, so he says this twice in the Gita, bow down before me and pray to me and praise me. He says many times he says in the Gita. Okay, so not just in the last 6 chapters. The wise person's action is doing the duty with affection to the Lord, to forget that the yogas are not the means to attain him. That was a double negative. This was a double negative, and we thought it could have been better. You made it, I think, specifically a double negative to confuse us, and we so we were a little confused.
I should have made it this way. I should have made it this way. They are the minor means.
Okay. They're the minor means. They're the secondary upayas. Correct. Okay. So, and fearlessness in faith. So we also said all of these things. Right. So then the individual's necessary quality is straightforwardness, frankness, adoring the precept, the purity of mind and body, steadfastness of devotion, single-minded concentration. Since there was not, we thought that F could be all of these, right? And that would have been correct. But since there was no F, we chose only B because we were confused. We were confused after question 21. We became confused, and so we understood that only by adoring the preceptor, such as you, we can understand everything. So therefore, we finally came to the level of Acharya Abhimana, and we surrender only to the Acharya.
But the number A is Arjavam.
Yeah.
Number A is Arjavam. Then number B is Acharya Upasanam. Then the third is Shuddhihi. Then fourth is we call it Atma Nigraha, single-minded concentration is, single-minded concentration is
Dhyanam.
just, huh?
Oh, I don't know. Dhyanam.
Just a minute. This is again
Samadhi.
from
Samadhi.
Samadhi. I'll just tell you. I'll tell you. Sthairiam is steadfastness in devotion. It is not Atma Nigraha. Sthairiam. Stharyam. Sthairiam. The last is Atma Vinigraha. STH. Second tha. Atma Vinigraha, not Atma Vinigraha. Right.
So, some of these, for extra credit, I just want to say that in the 18th chapter also mentions about, I think, the samodama tapaso cham shantimajamam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikam brahma kama swabhavajam. So a lot of these qualities are in the Brahmin caste. Brahmin caste exhibits a lot of these qualities. Correct?
Right. So please add H in stadium. STH.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, right. Okay, good.
So what was the answer?
The answer is all these.
Yeah, the answer was F, which was not. Yeah, exactly. So we thought that you needed to add all of these, so we added it, but we weren't sure. So because we weren't sure that you wanted to add an F, all of these, so that's why we picked B as being the most important thing.
Right.
To us, B is the most important thing.
And I added this question the last time just now, and then so I forgot to add the word all of these.
Right. So but this was this is the last question.
I wanted you to choose one of them also. That is my purpose was also.
Okay, we chose is Acharya Upasanam. Is that the correct one to choose?
Right, exact word. Acharya Upasanam. The 13th chapter, 7th verse. That's why I said I wrote the WhatsApp message. So refer to the 13th chapter, 7th verse for both question 2 and 22.
Acharya Upasanam is there in the 13th in that verse. Acharya Upasanam. Yeah. Acharya Upasanam. Right. So that's the most important part.
Right.
Okay, great.
There, if you don't know how to read books, there is Jnana Yoga. If you cannot do that, you simply serve the preceptor. You are right.
So there was the story is there of Ramanuja had, after they tried to poison Ramanuja, they had to appoint somebody to cook for him.
Yeah.
So that person who was cooking for him was boiling the milk. During the Parpada, the Lord was coming in the procession, and Ramanuja told him everybody must go outside and see Nampermal and follow the procession. And that fellow was cooking.
Yeah.
And he said, no, you go and worship your Lord, and I will stay and I will cook and I will worship my Lord. By cooking for Ramanuja, he like Madhura Kavi Alwar, he showed Acharya Bhakti.
Right. Work is worship.
Work is worship. Work is worship.
That is doing the duty is worship.
Yeah, doing the duty is worship. Yeah. Okay, but it should be selfless work. Is actually real worship.
So, whatever we studied in Gitartha Sangraha, whatever we whatever we understand, is about him.
Yeah, I'm very glad that you brought it all to Acharya Upasana at the end. This is just like no. This is very, in Srivachanam Bhushanam by Pilalokacharya. He brings it all to Acharya Upasanam at the end. So I think this is, but I don't see that actually in directly in Gitartha Sangraha. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the 31st verse is like a Charma sloka, but it's not. It doesn't mention Acharya Bhakti in the end. But can you say is there any hint of Acharya Bhakti or Acharya Abhimanam in Gitartha Sangraha?
No, the word bhakti itself, as you know, the first acharya is Lord. First acharya is the Lord.
Of course, the first acharya in any Guru Parampara is the Lord.
Therefore, the immediate, the nearby acharya is to be believed as God. That's what we say. Even in our Deshika Sampradaya, it is said that the physical, the human being whom we consider as acharya has got aprakrita sharira.
Of course, the Vedas also say Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava.
Beyond that, you treat him as God. You respect him as God.
Right. So, is there any reason in the Veda why it says? I mean, I understand why we say, first of all, we say Matri Devo Bhava because the mother is like the first guru. She's respected first, and then father, and then the third one is Atiti, no, and the last one is Acharya. Is there any reason?
Atiti, the guest is the last one.
Oh, okay, guest is the last one. So Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Okay. So Acharya comes after that, and then Atiti is after that. So this is in order of how we come in contact with them, but it is not.
Atiti. Yeah. Atiti is unknown to you.
Yeah, he's unknown.
And yeah, he must be more respected even. So when you know somebody, you may give respect. But when you don't know anybody, you don't know a person, you will ask for some biodata and then only respect you. That you must give respect.
Okay, so we had a lot of technical difficulties this morning.
I'm happy and I appreciate all your patience, and Madam is also. And I don't know. I mean, she is very soft in answering the questions, and so I don't know. I mean, the exact performance of the.
Internally, it's all up, stored, Swami. And the questions again, Keshav Das and Govindacharya helps me a lot. Yeah.
Now, of course, what I expect from you is all the members of the group should give me a pass mark for writing questions.
So we give you the mark of all these above. All these above were good.
It's Acharya Deva Bhava, no, for me.
So I
generally it is said questioning is very easy, but it's not so easy as we think.
No, making questions is very hard actually. Yeah. Especially if you want to make a trick question, it's very hard. Yeah. So I appreciated the double negatives. I appreciated some of the deception. But finally, Your daughter, I think, posted the video of you in YouTube of chanting the whole Gitartha Sangraha.
No, the Veeravalli Raghunathan Swami, Veda Dharma Samrakshana Sabha, North Carolina. I forgot that I recited this in 2018 or 2018.
Oh, so this was chanted long back.
Yeah, long back. 2 years back.
Okay, and so you sent the link, and I posted the link to the WhatsApp group, your class WhatsApp group, so everybody could see it.
Right.
I listened to it. Very nice. So you what I would do if I made it into a video, instead of having blurry pictures of deities and Pundarika Puramashram sannyasis and things, I would have put the words on the screen.
Right.
That's what I would have done, because to me it's listening to it is nice, but seeing it also is nice, and then we can learn if we see it. So I also appreciated that you chanted Swadharma Jnana Vairagya first twice, and Ekatan, the last verse also twice. Yeah, that I thought was nice.
That's a usual practice of any stotra.
Right. I think if I were to chant it, I would chant also verse 31 twice, because that to me is to me is the Charma Sloka.
Abhi.
So sometimes when reciting Tirupavai, there are certain verses which should be chanted twice. Right, and that has just become a tradition which came about because certain people felt that they were more important. Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I'm rereading it, Gitartha Sangraha, because of you. Once I was tested, I told you already, in Krishna Sabha of Mumbai, I was given this task. Suddenly, they gave me. Then I went through, and of course, within 1.5 hours, I dealt with this Gitartha Sangraha. I said, how can you ask me to do it within 1.5 hours? Not possible. So I gave only just a translation.
So I think you'll be very happy that we dealt with it in about 150 hours now.
Yeah. After going through Gitartha Sangraha.
Now it's been expanded from 1.5 hours to 150 hours. Okay. So that's nice. So now again, somebody will ask for condensation.
Yeah. Somebody was asking, why don't you tell me the meaning of Nyasa Vimshati within half an hour? I said, it's not possible. I'll say one verse a day or 15 minutes. I cannot say you within half an hour all the 22 verses of Nyasa Vimshati. Because it contains a lot of 14 definitions for a guru, 14 definitions for a disciple.
Yeah, I was also very interested to hear you speak about Nyasa Vimsati, so maybe we can take it up sometime, because we already did Nyasa Dasikam. So right. I was thinking we should also do any I think Govindacharya is going to agree with me. Any text which has to do with property or Nyasa.
Yeah, he will be interested.
Yeah,
totally agree.
We're all interested in this. This is because for us this is the uniqueness of Ramanuja Sampradaya property. This is the uniqueness.
And again, the uniqueness of Nyasa Vimshati is the only stotra which Vedanta Deshika himself gave the commentary in Sanskrit. For no other stotra he has given any commentary. Only for Nyasa Vimshati he has given the.
So if Vedanta Deshika himself, if he felt it was so important, then we must also read it.
We can go through the. Actually, I had it in the soft copy. So if I find it, I'll.
Okay, we can do it, but we have chosen Stotra Ratna for Monday, correct?
After that, yeah.
Okay, So Stotra Ratnam, and now my question is, did you decide exactly what text you want me to show in the screen for?
I'll tell you on Sunday.
Okay, I'll be prepared.
But the choice is yours.
No, the choice is not mine. I am only a servant. I'm a host in name only. I'm only I'm only able to. I mean, if without you, I'm not able to host anything, right? I can just. So
do you hear listen to any other beyond apart from both of us, Dr. Alvar and myself?
I'm very happy if other people want to speak in English. I'm very happy to host any sort of classes from them. But
have you come? No, Dr. so far have you come across anyone?
I mean, there are other people who give classes in English, like Velakudi Krishnan, of course, knows English. His son knows English, but they already have their own system, and so let them do their English classes. They do occasionally do English classes, so we watch those. This Dushyanta Sridhar, he also he's a very good speaker. He sometimes speaks in English. So I have given the links in YouTube to some of our foreign prapanas. I've given the links for these people in English.
And
but
Dr. Dr. V.S. Karunakar also is equally good in English.
So anybody who wants to speak in English, I will host the lecture. It's an open call. If anybody wants to do that, I will host the lecture, even if they're not of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. If they're from some other Sampradaya, I'll host the call. And I will.
And my another question is, how much do you use this, for example, Gitartha Sangraha or any other book to guide other people either in the Vaishnava Sampradaya or Gaudiya or any other Sampradaya?
Yeah, I was very interested to go through Gitartha Sangraha in detail because I feel that many people today, if you tell them to read a book with 700 verses, they say it's not possible, So there's very little concentration today. So if we can make something shorter, that's why I wanted to understand Gitartha Sangraha, because it's an abridgment of Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is one of the Prasthana Traya. So for me, if I want to preach to somebody Vedanta, I'm not talking about preaching property or something like that, but if I want to teach them Vedantic things, I need to be able to teach Prasthana Traya. So that means I have to teach Brahma Sutras, and even Ramanuja wrote Sri Bhashya, Bhagavad Sara, Vedanta Sara, Vedanta Deepa, then Vedanta Sara. So he also abridged his Sri Bhashya. So I think, though, for the Upanishads, Vedanta Sangraha is his first work, and so I think before going through Sri Bhashya, people could probably go through Vedanta Sangraha first. That will be like Gitartha Sangraha. It will be easier for them than going through the full Sri Bhashya. So I think a lot of people are not going to read Sri Bhashya. They're not going to read even the full Bhagavad Gita. So for these people, Gitartha Sangraha and Vedanta Sangraha, these are very important works that we can teach people. So when we just want to teach people basic philosophy, when we want to teach them deeply or high about, then we have to go into Rahasya Granthas. Most people are not, they are more interested, they're more interested in the Rahasya Granthas, they're more interested in property and these things. And they already heard from many people, they heard about the Atma and the Paramatma, and they heard all this Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga before, but they have not heard the uniqueness of property and about practical, the practical amount. The practical.
not because I belong to Deshika Sampradaya by birth. Of course, Ragasya Tresara is interesting to me. And more than that, when I was young, I went through Abhaya Pradhana Sara of Vedanta Deshika. I would like you to take it up after some time, which Vibhishana Sharanagati is the main topic. But I liked it when I was very young. I liked it very much.
Yeah,
So
I read Rahasya Trayasara. I've read all Vedanta Deshika's Chilaya Rahasangas. I have that book also that you just mentioned about
Abhaya Pradhana.
Abhaya Pradhana Saram. Yeah, I have that also. I have a copy of that in English. So I've been through all these books, and I also, if you want to go through that will be very great. That'll be great.
Right.
I have no problem with that. So anything, like I said, anything that people want to go through, especially if it has to do with property, or if it is a very basic text on philosophy, on Vedanta philosophy, then that's fine.
कवितार्किक सिंहाय कल्याण गुणशालिने श्रीमते